Those little comments of why you're still single, but you're so beautiful. Why have you not found the person yet? Are you too picky? Are you rejecting everybody? Hi guys, how you doing? How's it going? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video on the Blessing Agnes channel. My name is Blessing. If you're new here, you're welcome. I vlog, I hustle, I encourage, I talk, I do everything on this channel. And if you're returning, welcome back. Please remember to like this video, comment, subscribe and share, especially if you find this channel relatable or if you find any other content on this channel relatable. Remember to share it with someone. If you don't find it relatable, I'm sure you know someone who can relate. So do share, okay? It's nice to see you guys again. It has been a hot sec and today is a bit of a chit chat video. Today's video is a little different from a normal vlog. I thought we'd have a little bit of a pillow talk, chit chat time, girl talk, because it's been a hot sec. So obviously from the title you've probably already gathered what this video is about. Yes, being single at age 29, being single and scraping 30, being single obviously in your late 20s and navigating life as a single person and basically how you're living in purpose at this age. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Blessing and I am 29 years old. 29, I'm fabulous, scraping 30. Okay, I'm gonna add that in there because life comes at you fast. Yeah, and basically I thought I'd do a chit chat video on how I'm kind of navigating life at 29, single with no love life. Okay, people get shamed about being single all the time, especially at this age, especially at my age, and it can get a little iffy, you know, it can get quite tricky, you know, and just existing and living in purpose and just being here single at this age. I'm scraping 30 in a few months time and I can't believe how fast time has gone. Like I feel like I'm still 15, like where's time gone? Once upon a time I wanted to get married at age 23. I don't want to say who gets married at age 23 because people do, but I can't imagine myself married at age 23. I wanted to get married at 23, have kids, start a family, grow with my kids, grow with my husband, all these fantasies. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. I don't know if I should say unfortunately or fortunately, but I look at my life now, I'm like, I'm really young. Like, a lot of things I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I wanted to get married at 23, have kids at 23. I don't know how on earth that was going to happen, but I finished uni at 22, okay? I studied for 4 years and I finished uni at 22. So I kind of wanted to just go straight into it. Was I dating anybody? No. But it was a heart desire. That's what I wanted. But and 23, 29, that's 6 years ago. So I'm like, I've had so much time in between then and now. I know myself very well now compared to then. So it's like every time I think about it, I always think, if I had gotten married then, what would have been of me now? Everything I have time to do now, everywhere I've traveled to, every business I've tried to set up, everything I've like laid my hands on that I've been successful in, I'm like, imagine if I had gotten married then, would I have been able to do these things? I know myself a lot better now than I did back then. Everything that I have time on my hands to do now, what would I have been doing? I would have just spent my time being a mother, raising kids. Let's say if I was married, I'd be a wife. Okay, that sounds like a lot, okay? It's a whole load of like, my head's about to blow just thinking about that. But once again, it's a heart desire. One thing I'm gonna say is don't ever let anyone shame you about having the desire for marriage and the desire for having children. It's normal, it's human, especially as women. We are built to nurture, we are built to carry out this assignment of being mothers, wives, sisters, friends, everything. So it's like when we don't have that, or when we're not doing that, we kind of feel like we're wasting time or not living in purpose. There's a certain idolization around the idea of marriage and starting a family and just being a parent that we've kind of tied around our necks, and we've made it such a thing that if we don't have that at a certain age, we start to feel like time is running out. And I'm just here to tell you guys today that that's not the case, and that should never be the case with with you. You can't do everything else, live in purpose, and not be a wife or a mom. So we kind of need to like come off that. So like I said, it's a desire, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with desiring such. If you desire a husband, if you desire children, no matter how many you desire, I desire 4. I would like to add a disclaimer here. This video is not to slam anybody for wanting what they want. This video is more to encourage people in a similar situation or in my situation on how to basically navigate life at this age or at this stage in this type of situation. It's not to say that I don't want anything like marriage or kids. As a matter of fact, I do. It's still a heart desire of mine. Not when you guys see me posting an engagement or, oh, I'm getting married, everyone's like, oh, but she was telling us not to. No, I'm not telling you not to. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm telling you to, but I'm trying to tell you that in this space of now, and when you do get to that space of getting married and having kids and whatever, basically, how are you going to navigate your life in this space of time? Okay, disclaimer: if marriage is your heart desire, it's valid. If having children is your heart's desire, it's still valid. And one thing that we need to realize, especially as Christians, is that God still has your heart's desires in the palm of his hands. And one thing about God, he doesn't invalidate one person's heart desires just to fulfill the other person's heart desires. And he doesn't invalidate, he doesn't condemn your heart's desires. What you want is what you want, and God wants that for you too. He knows the plans and the thoughts that he has for us, and his thoughts of good and not of evil, and he plans to give us an expected end. So if your expected end is to be in your husband's house or in your wife, well, that doesn't sound right, not in your wife's house, but if your expected end is to be in your husband's house, that's exactly what God is going to do for you. Okay, he will make it happen. One thing I'm going to tell you guys is that being single is not a crime, neither is it a sin. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being single. There's nothing wrong with being single. There is nothing wrong with being single, especially at this age. I firmly believe that people that wait this long for marriage, I see it as a privilege, because you have more than enough time to get to know yourself before you need to know someone else. And I've also convinced myself that God is saving me, you, for the right person, and saving the right person for you. There's a time for everything, and in God's time everything will align. When I say being single at 29, doesn't mean you're not trying to date anybody, doesn't mean you've not tried or whatever. It just means you've not found the right person. So people have approached you or me, and they're just not what it is. And to an extent as well, I said this in one of my previous vlogs, that when you're single at a certain age, you tend to enjoy your own company. Like, it almost becomes a problem. Like, it can be quite toxic, it can get a little iffy. Okay, that's exactly what I said in that vlog. And it's just a fact, because you get very skeptical about who you let into your space, how you let people into your space, what you do with people in your space. But there's nothing wrong with enjoying your own company. I'm going to put that out there first. There's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying your own company. In fact, you need to learn to enjoy your own company, because I'm not being funny, I'm surrounded by a lot of people with kids, I'm surrounded by a lot of kids, I'm surrounded by parents, and I look at them and I'm like, even if they're not feeling well, they're poorly, they still have to get up and do be a parent. You still have to get up and be a mom. You still have to get up and be a dad. You still have to get up and cook for that child. Meanwhile, single life, I can get away with cereal for dinner. But on the other side of this life, there's people to cater for, there's people to cook for, there's people to look after. So I always encourage people, make sure you're intentional about enjoying your single life. Enjoy this time. As women, we start putting such a time stamp on these type of things. I'm not saying it's the only thing we're created for, but we are created to do these things, and when we're not doing those things, we kind of feel like we're not living in purpose. But one thing I've noticed about this time is that your purpose is more than just being a wife, being a mother. Your purpose is beyond being a wife and being a mother. So how about you start living in your purpose a little bit more than you have been? If you don't know your purpose, I can't help you find your purpose, but I know I've had to really dig into my life to find what my purpose is. And honestly, I've also had to ask God, like, Jesus, boo, what is my purpose? And when you get get that answer, start living in it. Your purpose could be charity work. Your purpose could be hospitality. Your purpose could also be using your gifts for the benefit of others. Your purpose could be serving people intentionally. Your purpose could be selfless good deeds. Your purpose is always going to be something good. I don't think your purpose could ever be bad, because God gives you your purpose, and if your purpose, or if you feel like you have a bad purpose, then that's not your purpose from God. It's probably your purpose from the devil. It would always be something good. So you need to dig deeper into yourself in that space of time. Find your purpose. Start living in your purpose. Enjoy your purpose. Enjoy living in your purpose, and enjoy your season. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I've learned and how I'm navigating, so you can apply it to yourself. Basically, I've learned so many lessons in this, you know, season and everything. I've had to learn how to start living my life for myself. I've had to learn to let go and let God. Once again, it's a desire, not an end goal, right? Because it's a desire, it's in the palm of God. He hasn't invalidated them, like I said. However, when it comes to the picking, the choosing, and everything along those lines, you really need to let God do the picking. You can't choose forever by yourself, because I've realized that forever is a very long time for you to pick carelessly. So you can't do this picking by yourself. You have to let go and let God handle it. I've had to say to God, take complete charge. You know me, you know what I like and what I don't like. You know what I can tolerate and what I can't tolerate. Take the wheel, okay? Do as you wish, handle it as you will, okay? I've also learned that the devil sends people as well as God sends people. God will send people your way, and I don't just mean in partner terms, I mean in general. The same way God sends people your way, the devil also sends people your way, because the devil knows what you want and God also knows what you want. So the devil is like, oh, let's see if she will pick this. That's similar to what she wants. Let's see if she'll pick it. But God will say, this is what she wants. Whether she picks it or not, this is what I'm going to give to her. Yeah, I've had to let God do the picking. So literally it's a case of keep declining until it's exactly what you want, or until it's exactly what God has sent to you, and not what the devil keeps sending your way. This one's going to be a little hard to take in, but you need to eliminate small voices and pressure, okay? Those snarky little comments. I saw a video, I'll try and find a link to it and I'll link it to this, but the man was basically saying these are things that God never asked us in the Bible, so why do we keep asking single people these questions? And he was saying things along the lines of, why are you not married? When are you going to get married? These are questions you should never ask a single person. Have you not found the person? Why haven't you found the person? Basically all the whys that are pressuring whys, that people think they're asking you to do you good, but they don't realize that they're putting pressure on you, or they're trying to put pressure on you, or these questions are putting pressure on you. They may not be putting pressure on you intentionally, but it's happening. So I've learned about perception and intent. Your perspective of what they're asking you is based on your experience or past experiences, but their intent may not necessarily be that, but you're going to perceive it that way because that's the situation and that's where you found yourself. Those little comments of, why are you still single, but you're so beautiful, why have you not found the person yet? Are you too picky? Are you rejecting everybody? When will you marry? When will you marry? Why are you not married yet? Even the passive aggressors as well. Like, you look so good in this photo, but it would have looked much better if there was a man in that picture with you. Or, it's so nice that we're going out for your birthday, but it would have been much better if a man was taking you. You know, the little snarky comments that you get from people when they think they're doing you good by complimenting you, but it's fishy compliments, because it's like, am I not good? It's only going to be good if there was a man here. Is that what you're trying to tell me? So yeah, you may honestly need to eliminate pressure. I've had to learn to be rebellious about it. I don't really want to hear anything you have to say, especially if, once again, perception and intent. If I've perceived that, whether it's your intent or not, if I've perceived pressure from your voice, I don't want to hear it. One thing I've made clear to everybody around me is I don't like matchmaking. Please don't matchmake me. Especially, even worse, don't matchmake me with anyone I already know. If it's someone I don't know, okay, then let's see. I was speaking to someone a good couple of years ago now, and she made a comment. She said, before you accept matchmaking from anybody, you need to find out if that matchmaking is spirit-led or if it's them-led. Someone can try to matchmake you because they think you're bored, or you're not happy, or you're really searching and you're not finding this person, so let me matchmake you and see what's up. But that may not necessarily be the case. But they just, because they think you're bored or you're not happy in your life, or you're not happy single or whatever, this is what they think, by the way. You never gave them this impression, by the way. because they think that's the case with you, they try to matchmake you out of boredom. They can just pick anything off the streets and try to matchmake you with. And I hate that, because I feel like matchmaking builds pressure. Because even if, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody's weak-minded, but I know someone like myself, I know very well that if someone tried to matchmake me, I would start feeling like, oh, I don't want to let you down. Or how about, let's just see where it goes. Like, basically, you can tolerate bullcrap simply because you've been matchmade. You want to see how it goes, because actually they probably vouch for that person. So it's like, oh yeah, let's see, they might be good. Oh, I know you're a good person, so the person you've put a word in for may also be a good person. And then before you know, you should start tolerating things you shouldn't be tolerating simply because you've been matchmade. So matchmaking, if you feel like that pressures you, clock it. I don't even know how that relates with this, but basically clock that T. Just say no. There's no matchmaking around here. I understand that in this day and age it's difficult, and matchmaking may have to be the way forward of a lot of people, with a lot of us that are stubborn, but let it be spirit-led. Before you matchmake me, pray to God about it. Ask God for permission. You need God's permission to access me, okay? Before you matchmake me, ask God, can I do this? If God says no, please don't come my way. If God says yes, please come my way. Same goes for us as well in our glorious singlehood. If someone tries to matchmake you with someone else, ask God if you should or you shouldn't. Ask God if it's worth your time. Ask God if it's worth a shot. If God says it's not, please get out of it. There's no point of wasting time, because at this age, there's no time to waste time. Like, everybody that comes your way, you're either here to stay or you're here to play. If you're here to play, you gotta go. If you're here to stay, then come correct. Little things like that is what I mean by eliminating small voices and pressure. Eliminate them. You don't need them. And like I said, God does the picking. So if you trust God to do your picking and you're choosing for you, you honestly may need to stop listening to people's voices on how to proceed. You need to cut out people's voices. This isn't small voices and pressure at this point. Small voices is, oh, why are you still single? Now, this is not people's voices straight to your face. Advices on what you should do to get seen. Advices on how you should proceed to get seen. I feel like it's just the whole rehearsed, oh, I feel like you need to put yourself out there a bit more. I feel like you need to try a little harder. I feel like you need to, I'm like, okay, first of all, no disrespect to people, but if you've not been in this same position that I'm in, I don't feel like I need to hear anything you have to say, especially on that topic, because you cannot relate. I just don't feel like you can tell somebody who is single at a certain age that they need to put themselves out there more. What more would you like the person to do? What more do I need to do? Okay, I'm going to use myself as an example. I travel, I go out to eat, I go on night outs, I go to the gym, I go to church, I go to play tennis, I travel once again, because even if I'm not traveling country to country, I'm traveling within the country. I'm going out. I go out because I'm a work from home babe. I go out to the cafes to work. But what more would you say to somebody? I feel like everybody is so used to saying the whole rehearsed, yes, I feel like you need to put yourself out there more. But how much more do you need to put yourself out there? You can't start church hopping simply because you want to be seen. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like that's the easiest thing for people to say, because they're trying to put two and two together as to why you're still single. So to them, it's like, oh, put yourself out there more. There's nothing else to say. That's the easiest thing to say, so they will say it. But once again, what more do you want us to do? Put our faces on the red buses? Do you want me to put my face on the red bus in London with a caption, single at 29 or single and searching? That's not how it works. I'll give you guys a funny example. Like, I personally don't believe in dating sites, like online dating. I think it's a very strange thing. No judgment to people who, online date and everything. I have heard some really good success stories, and honestly, I applaud you guys, because I feel like more than anything else, people that can hold through dating sites are brave. One of the bravest people on earth. I caught the bouquet at my friend's wedding last year, and I was challenged to a dating site. Okay, they were like, pick one. The MC was like, pick one site you can manage. I was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm not dealing with Tinder. I've heard too much about Tinder. I'm not doing it. I felt, okay, which one can I go for? Hinge. Let's see what Hinge says. At the end of the day, there's no harm in trying, okay? And once again, I've heard success stories, so sure, let's run it. And I'm not being funny, I was challenged to 6 months. I feel like just signing up to Hinge, for example, it was a very rough place. It was people that came to match age with me. Oh, I'm older than you shouldn't be talking to me like this. Just from logging onto it and seeing the suggestions, there was people that I know. I'm like, I know you. You're married. You're not 6'2". No kids is a bit crazy because you have 4 of them. I don't know, it's just a bit crazy, like this is what's on here. So that's why I said no disrespect to people who use dating sites, because once again, success stories can come from it. And at the end of the day, we're not all abnormal, okay? I'm normal, I think I can be, but you know, dating sites, for example, it's not something that I'm comfortable with, but I was willing to try, because what's the harm in trying? But on realizing that it wasn't for me, I came off it immediately, because it's not for me. I would never ask you to put yourself in situations that you're not comfortable with just to be seen. If you travel, that's enough. I don't know, maybe go to church, travel, go on solo dates. If you are comfortable with solo trips, please by all means go on solo trips. I wouldn't tell you to start doing things you don't normally do, like excessive clubbing every weekend, excessive doing of anything just because you want to be seen. If you feel like your wardrobe might be the issue, feel free to change your wardrobe whilst traveling. Airport outfits, those are very important. How about you switch up things like that? If you wanted to give yourself a little bit of a salt sprinkle rather than doing things you're uncomfortable with just to be seen. Just in all of that, I would say just start doing things you enjoy doing. Like I said before, I play tennis, I go to the gym, I love hustling, okay? I like working, I like setting up. Like I can think of a business idea today and I want to go and work on that immediately. Sometimes it looks like a little peanut business, and by the time you dig your eyes into it, it's a bigger project than you anticipated. Okay, let's run it. This season definitely will come to an end. That's one thing I just need people to realize, that it will end soon, sooner than later, actually, as a matter of fact. So whilst it's still active, how about we say we give ourselves grace and understand that we're doing great. God just hasn't sent the person yet. So I would also advise, like, romanticize your life. When I say be intentional about living your life, take yourself on solo dates, solo trips, once again, if you're comfortable with it. If yours is exercising, working out, going to the gym, by all means, please run it. Go to church, travel, airport outfits, that's very major, that's important. If you're active on social media, be active with your chest. Anything you feel like you are already doing or you could do better, please do. In theory, block out unnecessary noises, pressure comments, passive aggressive comments from people, and enjoy your season. Stay prayed up, stay prayerful, because I feel like at the end of the day, one thing I live by is, and I try to live, it's not good, but at the same time it's good, because I'm like, if God doesn't want that for me, there's nothing I can do about it. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. If God says this isn't what I need for you, there's nothing you can do about it. How about you just get ready to be that rich auntie that all your nieces and nephews love, okay? So yeah, guys, I feel like it's been very jumbled up, but that's kind of how I navigate single life at 29. And I'm hoping and praying that you guys can apply it to your life as well. Be intentional, start living in the moment. Money can be recovered. That's my motto. Money can be recovered, because money generally can be recovered. I'm not saying waste money. I'm not saying don't save. I'm not saying don't invest. Please do, because I'm not going to tell you to do what I'm not doing. I'm saving, I'm investing. Please save and invest, but at the same time, I'm also spending the money, because if God says the world is ending tomorrow, I'm sorry, but we're all leaving, and what's happening to that money? Start living in your purpose. Block out noises, block out small voices, block out pressure comments, block out passive aggressive compliments. Let God handle it. Let go and let God. Understand that being single is not a crime, neither is it a sin. And honestly, keep declining until it's everything you want. Okay, anyway guys, that's that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe and share. Once again, if it doesn't apply to you but you know someone who it applies to, share it with them as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.